4X has always been one of my favorite genres. But maybe surprising to some is that 4X wasn't always a genre I even paid that close attention to. It probably wasn't until around 2013, 2014 that the 4X genre started to seep its claws deeply into me. It's not that strategy games were something I didn't enjoy. I had played real-time strategy games almost since my childhood. And I wasn't ignorant of the 4X genre either. I had dabbled in Civ occasionally, but that was really the only one that hooked me. But in 2015, a new 4X game had its hooks in me. So much so that I did a full playthrough here on Mathis Games, and even started up a second one that I eventually ended up let lingering. And that was Age of Wonders 3. I hadn't played any other Age of Wonders game before, so I didn't really know what to expect, and I got a nice mix of 4X, Heroes of Might and Magic, and a little tabletop miniature tactics as well. It was unique for me at the time, and I really enjoyed it, though it did feel a little easy for the difficulty I ended up playing it on. But I never went back to it. Fast forward to today, almost 5 years later, and the newest Age of Wonders is upon us. This one not about the fantasy realm or history, but instead flinging us into the far future. After the cataclysmic collapse of the Star Union, many different factions now vie for power across the galaxy, on different worlds. The Vanguard are your box standard humans, XCOM in style, military and diplomatic alike. The Devar are space dwarves, small industrious little creatures that create mechs and explosives and deal business with them almost exclusively. Then the Amazons, humans that were stranded on a terraforming world, who somehow after centuries of being left alone now can space travel again, are just women merged with dinosaur and reptilian blood, and they ride dinosaurs with lasers mounted to them. And of course, plenty more, all coming with their own unique win conditions, play styles, and all kinds of specialities. But for our playthrough, we'll be playing the Kirko race, a race of once hive-minded aliens now broken free from that hive-mind bond, desperately trying to claw out an identity of their own and a world of their own. They're so unique in their way of playing two different ways, to completely dominate and enslave those they encounter, or try to work with them to create a peaceful world where the Kirko and whatever races linger can live in harmony. And that's what we'll be playing. I'm eager to see if we can take our commander Kiri and explore this new frontier world. It's fresh, it's lacking any sort of civilization, and we, hopefully, will take it for our own. We'll be doing around 5 episodes of this series, and if views are good, we'll continue. Either way, I'm excited to play. I've been looking at Planetfall for years now. So without further ado, settle in and let's find out what happens in this next story. Let's play.
Peace be upon you, swarm herald of the unshackled Kirko. I do not know how your insectoid emotions work, but let me say that wrath and vengeance do not lead to salvation. The empire that enthralled your kind lies in ruins, while you have regained your freedom. Everything happens for a reason. Shape your own future and don't look back in anger. May your swarm bring light to this world.
And welcome to Age of Wonders Planetfall, everybody. I'm very excited to play our Kiri Uzkul, this particular leader of the Kirko, and see what her story holds. And I'm excited to play another 4X game, because it's one of my favorite genres of all time. I set up the game. I believe you saw some of that at least while I was babbling about why I love this game and this genre so much and the story I'm eager to tell here. But we'll go over a little bit of the stuff. We'll go over the stuff more in detail as we play, because I'm one to jump into the action and kind of explain as I play, as opposed to try and go over everything all at the start and then play normally. All you need to know right now is that the world I chose was kind of just box standard. I let it kind of develop itself. It said the land masses were going to be random and the water was going to be random, and it looks like what we ended up getting was 62% water and 38% of it land. There's a bunch of different ways we can win, as with any Civ style game. We're the Kirko, and as you heard her say, we are broken free from the hive mind that shackled us down, and now we're out to create our own swarm in our own name. This is our hero here, and their perks are pretty simple. One, this particular Kirko commander is a Kirko assault equipment, is packed with Kirko assault equipment. The pack you received after assault training. This advanced training gives you the following skills. I get ranged specialist, which increases damage dealt when using ranged weapons, which is great for us, and steady aim, which increases our accuracy when we're behind cover. You'll see what I mean when combat initiates. And well, like I said in the beginning, how this is kind of an interesting mashup of turn-based combat tactics, something like XCOM or a miniatures game, and a 4X style game that plays similarly to a Heroes of Might and Magic game. I know, it's bizarre, but you'll understand when we start to play. We also get a Thrax rifle that deals repeated biochemical damage, and a Psi Stone of Dissonance that deals some psionic damage in an area. Perfect. We also have we were a merchant scion when we were growing up. Trade and economic deals used to be your daily life. Such are the duties of those born to wealth. So we were born wealthy when we were in our younger stages during the time of the hive mind. When you decided to join the military, position was easily arranged. Economy expertise. Decreases economy research cost by 15%. Sweet. And we are a Xeno trader. Dwelling trading is 10% cheaper. This discount can never exceed 50%. Easy enough. The last thing you're going to see over here is what is known as our secret technology. If you decide to create your own commander, you'll get to see all the different secret technologies, but I don't want to spoil them all for right now as we run across them in the wild, as every single player of the 6 gets a secret technology. But our secret technology is something known as the Xenoplague. The Xenoplague spreads through a highly adaptive alien parasite and can be used to create biological weapons, develop super soldiers, and evolve planetary populations. Spawn and evolve special units after battle, heal and enhance biological units, deploy infectious bioweapons, and uses the biochemical and kinetic damage channels. So what's interesting is that every player gets one of these special things, and it directly affects your tech tree. This game is very, very highly replayable with how much customization you can put into not only the world itself and the scenario you put yourself in, but just the heroes and the way the race is going to play for you that playthrough alone. So I kind of see that Kiri was once military, probably is very steadfast, but doesn't play all her hands or all her cards. She may try and play diplomacy with a few of the races, maybe even all of them if they all want to play nice, but in her back pocket, she will always have the Xenoplague, something that could lay waste to this entire planet that we will be investing some money into researching and making sure we have this technology to unleash on the planet if we see fit. So let's head to the planet. And here we are.
To create Xenoplague units, you will need to infect enemy units in tactical combat with parasitic infection by using unit mods and tactical operations that are unlocked through research.
At the end of a successful combat, the more enemy units that were infected, the higher chance that you'll gain a Xenoplague unit or evolve an existing Xenoplague unit. The spawn chance increases the higher the tier of the infected units that died. Each combat, multiple units can be spawned, evolved, or a combination of both. Before Xenoplague units can be spawned or existing Xenoplague units can be evolved, they need to be researched, which makes sense. So, there's a lot to this game as I've played, and I will just be frank, the 2 to 3 hours of tutorial that the game has is not enough and doesn't cover nearly all the stuff it needs to cover and barely touches some of the stuff. So there's going to be some learning involved on my end as we go through and as we play. I've only had the game for a few days, and the game comes out in like 3 days at the time of this recording, and there's just a lot that this game kind of has. The Kirko are very unique in that they spread very quickly. Think of them kind of like Zerg and how quickly they spread. Unlike Civilization, it's not a hex-based kind of claiming system. We don't spread by grabbing hexes. Instead, when our colony or city gets big enough, we'll be able to claim a territory or a zone for ourselves. And you'll see how that works as time goes on. But for now, let's just get some basics set up and go over some of our basic stuff.
All rival commanders and native NPC factions you encounter on the planet are listed in the diplomacy interface, along with faction information and their relation towards you.
You can start negotiations. We don't have anybody to negotiate with, not a big deal, but this is our diplomacy tab.
Operations form
Operations
a flexible
tab.
toolkit that allows commanders to support military actions and steer government policies. Ops of increasing strength are unlocked through research and are listed on the left side of the operations interface.
They're divided into tactical operations, strategic, and doctrines. This is kind of like how we want to guide our government. She kind of explained it pretty openly right there, but that's basically what it is. This is how we're going to deal with declaring things and how we want to run our military.
Strategic and doctrine operations need to be primed before use. The priming process takes a number of turns pending the ops cost and your available strategic operation points.
Okay, that's what this is up here. It's one of our resources we'll have to manage. Doctrine operations are automatically activated when they finish priming. Strategic operations such as airstrikes can be launched on your orders. Note you can keep multiple ops primed at once. Perfect. All right, so that's our operations. Next up is our objectives.
The objectives interface gives an overview of available objectives. Quests can come from NPC factions or from special sources during the campaign.
Quests given by NPC factions can offer military or economic rewards and will improve your relations with that faction. And when she says NPC factions, she doesn't mean the people we're playing against. There are actual NPCs out there that inhabit the world.
The active victory conditions for the current session can be seen here, as well as your progress in each condition.
Once researched, a capability rank is shown for each category, showing how well you are doing compared to the other players. Covert operations can be used to gather information, which I'm not sure if we're going to be messing too much with covert operations as the Kirko, but if we ever play again as the Syndicate, yeah, we will.
In addition to regular quests, the game features Empire tasks. These are divided into 3 categories, each representing an important pillar of your faction.
Progressing through these Empire tasks yields rewards and sets you on a path to victory. Being the first commander to complete a task gives you an extra Pioneer reward. So basically, here's the many different ways we can win. Unity, military, and development. We can basically research Dawn of a New Union. Boom, we'll win the Unity one. There's 2 ways to win military: wipe everybody out or occupy most of the sectors. And then there's development, Omega Strain research. And then these kind of just are quests along the way that guide you to a certain victory. It's kind of check marks along the way to grabbing one of these as a victory condition. Pretty straightforward, especially if you've played a 4X before.
The colony overview interface shows important information on all your colonies. Your HQ colony is marked with the throne icon.
The icons at the top can be used to sort the list based on categories below. So as we'll get colonies and we'll spread, we'll have more and more of these, but it's a quick overview of our population, I believe, right here. Then we have our sectors. We have 1 sector right now. We can't do anything else until we have 4 colonists. Once we have 4 colonists, we can grab another sector that is adjacent to it, and each sector will have its own benefits and drawbacks depending. This is the morale, happiness. Happiness is used as an income for the happiness event. Positive happiness leads to a happiness event. Negative happiness leads to unrest and riots, kind of standard. This is our current food. We have a 19 surplus of food, so we're doing fine. How much power we're generating, which is another that we're going to be using up here. This is our production. This is our knowledge, and generate energy and blah, blah, blah. So that's, again, resources and how each colony is more or less doing.
The
Military overview
interface shows important information about your armies, heroes, and items.
All military assets you control are listed here, and selecting an army or hero will take you to their position on the world map. So this is where it starts to deviate something from like Civ, right? Where Civ, you just kind of stack units up and you go attack and they do damage to each other based on dice rolls and everything around them. This game has an active combat system where it's tactics based. And so each set has a bunch of units in them. All of them have their own unique specialties and weaknesses. But moreover, there are heroes in the game, and heroes level up. When they level up, they get get new abilities, and they can equip themselves with better gear. You can actually give them items and mods all the way through. We'll actually mess with that here in a minute. This is our current hero, Kiri. This is the leader of the faction. All of her stats are right here, and mods that we have none of. But we have a couple weapons that we can give her. And we can actually go ahead and mod all the weapons, some of the weapons as well. I think we're just gonna go ahead and be fine with the Thrax rifle. And then this is a Stone of Dissonance, tier 1 secondary, or we could give her a pistol or one of Harmony. I think we're fine with her having what she has. But we'll get better gear as we go, and it'll be equipped on her. And then there's all kinds of upgrades that we'll get when she ends up leveling up. And of course, units level up as well. Sweet! Unit Template Manager.
Manager interface shows you mod templates for units under your control.
We actually can mod our own units as well. I don't know how much we'll mess with this early on in the game, but we might mess with it later on. For instance, if we want to modify them.
This is the unit panel, where all the information on a unit can be viewed, including their active and passive abilities in the list on the left side.
Once researched, unit mods can be assigned to a unit using the mod slots on the right.
Units can have different roles in combat.
Core units are race scouts, baseline infantry. Skirmish units are focused on dealing damage. Specialist units have non-damaging support abilities in addition to their attacks. And elite units are higher tier units that have strong damage and support abilities. A colony can only produce skirmisher, specialist, and elite units if it has built special unit unlock structure. So we can actually modify, thank you. We can actually modify our own soldiers as well. There's a lot of customization in this game. It's kind of crazy and it's a lot of fun. So that's what we've got going for right now. We've got some research, which we will start in a little bit. But for now, let's send one of our, this is our scout. This is one of our scouts here. And we can just kind of send it out. We have a few pings on the map that are kind of calling our attention. That could be any number of things. And we actually have what looks like a research station over here. It's got a Marauder guard that we might want to wipe out and take for ourselves. We also have an Imperial standard pickup and an abandoned Imperial standard pickup that we could grab. So if we clear these out and we actually step on them, we'll actually get some bonuses. And it's going to be a good time to show some early combat. So why don't we swing over to here, and we're just going to go ahead and take this army on. Shouldn't be that bad. We can actually take a look, our attack power versus theirs, and eventually we can start doing like auto combat stuff for the smaller people, but we're not going to worry about that right now because I want to show some of the combat off, so we'll go in manual combat. So this is an old forgotten area that they've been guarding. Clear them out so we can take it for ourselves and gather whatever research may be lying here to help Kirko and her minions. So, like I said, combat's kind of like a mini XCOM, and that's exactly how it plays out. So let's take a look at the units we've got and what they can do. So we've got Kirko Frenzied. We can move, rotate, Rending Claws, melee, and they can battle vomit. So you're gonna see these little knobs underneath it. Basically the way it works is depending on where we move, it'll use 1, 2, or all 3 of our movement ticks, and each move uses up one of those movement ticks as well. So we're kind of have to manage this here and not use all of it completely. But we can go to like here, and we might be able to spit at them, but let's see what else we've got. Kirko Unleash, they have the same abilities. Frenzied. So we just got a bunch of Frenzied. Ah, we got some Hidden here. Okay. Hidden. Psi Rifle, so they're gonna be long range. That's good. It's gonna use all 3 of theirs as well though, which is means we can't be moving with them. Then we got Psi Rifle Snapshot, a quicker shot that's gonna do less damage, it looks like. Yeah, 16 compared to the 10, less damage, still just as accurate. And then Shrouded Step. Channeling their psionic power, this unit teleports themselves, spreading a cloud of obscure smoke in a 1 hex radius around the target's hex location. Units inside the area are 40% harder to hit. So in emergency, we're gonna get shot, kind of thing. All right, and then our hero, who has their own rifle, the Thrax rifle, and Stones of Dissonance. A short range cone attack that deals psionic damage to all units. High impact stagger units reduces action points and canceling, so it'll make them be able to have less actions next turn. It's psionic, so it bypasses all armor. Only affects ground targets. Honestly, they have armor, so us bypassing their armor with a bunch of different units is probably really great. And we actually have a 5% chance to hit, so that's not something we want to do. All right, so let's start organizing here. Let's get you guys up. We want to keep the melee as close as we can. We can't really reach them, but we can get close with some of them. And there is rotational direction as well. If we're not facing the enemy and they come up behind us, they get flanking bonuses. So if you want to turn an enemy or turn one of your troops around, you can. I think that's going to use all 3 of my actions. I'd rather not use all 3. Because I want to see if I can get a snapshot at least. So let's move up. Let's see if we can get a snapshot. 5%. There's no reloading or anything, so we'll take some shots. Ended up missing, doing some damage here. I wonder if this will explode. All right, let's move in here. We're going to get really close. And we're going to rotate towards them. And we can't spit that far, so they're going to have to stay here and hunker down. Now, we can go here. Flying units means we can stay above all cover, which is fine. And I guess we'll move our hero and keep him pretty far back. We'll take a 15% shot. We actually hit, doing good damage. And that's a good start to this round. We'll be having a quick combat, I think. Ooh, flaming jet. They just set us all on fire, killing 1. That's slow motion. Okay. They're doing some nasty damage to us, but it ain't the end of the world. We'll start with the Ravage. It should kill them. They fly down, just peck at them from behind because they've been flanked. We'll run these guys up out of the fire and melee them. Good, and staggered them, so they lost an action point. We can't finish them off. Let's see. All right, let's run up here and flank them on this side and hit them from the side as well. Not great. I just want to get all the melee up first, you know? Clear some space for the range to move up and maybe have a better percentage chance of hitting. The staggering's good, though. If we can stagger him one more time, we might be able to stop them from actually taking an action. 38%, that's the only shot you got. All right, I'll move my hero up first. See if she can get a good shot on anyone. All right, let's see, 55, it's not great. Almost dead, but not quite. All right, we'll move them up. I think it's gonna be kind of safe. 72 to end it? Yeah, let's do it.
Enemy eliminated.
Perfect. Only one of them is left. Hopefully they don't get enough damage to kill. They actually missed. That's huge, and they're gonna get a revenge because they're melee. And now they get to Rendering Claw. And nice and easy.
Eliminated.
Swarm tactics, baby.
Enemies of the Hive have been defeated.
Perfect. So we actually get out of that 147 knowledge, which is very, very nice. And now if we want, we can actually, once our pop grows, we can actually take this area as a region of our own by sitting in the center and claiming it as ours. However, we've got some stuff to do still. So let's start moving. Let's start exploring this way and kind of get a lay of the land all around us. All right, what do we want to produce? A barracks, all kinds of buildings, structure production. A biofarm. So we can only have one central structure. And there's 3 we can choose from. Reactor core, basically production. Basically, we get energy, food, or production as our options. And food is always kind of a good first choice. But let's actually pick up another army while we're at it. We'll spend a little bit of our energy. We'll grab we'll queue up a couple of frenzied. And we'll go ahead and say produce our food. And that'll be the end of our first turn out on this new world. Okay, turn 2. Let's continue to explore out this way. We're surrounded by some nice areas, it seems. Overgrown biodome resource node, currently owned by unknown. So not all NPCs are bad, by the way. See, this one isn't immediately attacking us. The Sci-Fish NPC faction is an ancient species of psionically powered creatures originating from the void. They acquire knowledge by extracting and consuming the brains of their organisms. So like Metroids, basically. Kiri Uzkul, a physical presence, interaction. Your kind is different. Kachuru, cosmic kin, long to return, commune. Ooh, she's recognizing that we're part, or were once part, of the hive mind. This reality has no place for creatures like you. We immediately declare war. Let's see what happens if they were once like us, or we were once like them, perhaps. We come in peace. This planet, spherical. This plane, foreign. Tastes of danger. Smells of unfamiliarity. Task, physical. Acceptance? Well, they have a task for us. Shamblers from the stars. Renegades. Hostile souls. Violent red. Must be put down. Eradicated. Do this. Rewards await. So they want us to take out these 4 units that I believe are just to the north of where we are anyway, the Marauders. So we were planning on doing that anyway. We accept. Oh, no, they were just got spawned in front of us. Okay, let's move into town. Immediately retreat from here and set up for defense. We can rip our armies apart, by the way, if we really want to, and send them off on their own, but we're not gonna. I'm gonna say go ahead and stay there. There's something over here. A Cosmite stash. So this is a resource that we'll use later. Don't have to worry about it quite yet. 10 Shamblers from the stars. Okay, yeah, that's the thing we just got. So now we have research. So research is split into 2 different types of trees. Military and society. And we kind of have to pick them as we go. You'll notice later on down the trees that you're going to see things like our secret technologies and all that stuff, which is what we're going to probably immediately spec into so we can play with it. I like the idea of taking what's ours. So this is going to be our secret one in Millet Society, and it starts with nurturing. Dream sharing. Sharing the past memories of our great warriors with the Kirko that fight at the forefront helps them to improve more rapidly. All Kirko get 25 experience extra from combat, which is great. This is a doctrine we'll have to prime. We also can get the new generations are our future, so the larger the new generation is, the better. All owned colonies benefit from an increase of plus 20 food, again, which is great because the Kirko spread quickly. And finally, brood cluster. Gathering all broods together allows for more efficient reproduction turnover. Colony gains 50% of their food income after upkeep as a production discount when producing units. That's just so good. There's no reason not to take that. And it's 0 turns, so we just get it, apparently. I did not realize that. We also have some biochemical weapons, unshackling, and some alpha strain stuff of the Xenoplague. Again, all unique because of the stuff that we chose in the beginning when we set up our race. This is a lot of stuff. So we still need a society thing. 9 turns is a lot. We can easily go ahead and grab something that's a little cheaper that'll be generally useful as well. I think frontier facilities is kind of what I always go for. We get a colonizer out of that. We also get military infrastructure and a recreational dome. The colonizer alone makes it worth it. We can spread and grab colonies fast. Military-wise, we can get the Xenoplague Parasite. The unit is infected with a strain of Xenoplague and gains hyper-evolved immune system, granting it +2 resistance to all non-psionic status effects, and ferocious determination, making the unit immune to negative morale and mind control effects. Additionally, this mod grants +5 vitality. This mod can only be applied to biological and cyborg units. We also can get Parasitic Strike. This is free. We actually just get this. Good God, that's crazy. I think we want to go for some basic stuff as well before we dive headfirst into the 9-turn stuff. So we can get a heightened vision detector, tier 1 defense mod. This unit gains 20% increased accuracy, also +1 strategic vision range and detection, allowing to see concealed units. That's actually great. And Sundering Claws. It removes 1 armor as we strike at them. 10% increased damage on all abilities, and this will go into regeneration and other stuff too. Eventually we'll want to go into bioweapons, but I'd like to start with the basics, basically. So we're gonna unshackle these techs for ourselves as we unshackle ourselves. Nurturing.
For decades, we slept in slavery, dreaming of a lost world and our martyred Hive Queen. Now we share a fresh vision, a healthy brood, and work for a future in which we can pursue our lost dream. Chikuku Kosrax, Swarm Herald.
I love that they have unique quotes depending on the secret tech you choose, because we can take any of the secret techs that we want. And this is the one that just works. Or just has this quote, and other ones will have quotes too. So, I think we can set up a doctrine. Dream sharing or preserving the future. So with dream sharing, all Kirko units gain extra experience from combat. Preserving the future, all owned colonies benefit from an increase. I think early on, dream sharing is probably worth it. So let's prime it. That's going to use up most of our energy. But that means we're going to start leveling up very, very quickly. Alpha strain inception. Yep.
It isn't disease that breaks civilizations. This alpha strain can infect every living thing. Some will grow stronger, while others are afflicted and die. That uncertainty erects quarantine barriers and awakens a sickening cruelty already lodged deep in the human heart. Dr. Marvin Mentor, Union Center for Disease Control.
Well, they discovered something nasty and now we using it, boy. I actually want to make sure we get parasitic strikes at some point too. But for now, I'm happy with where we're at. Let's end our turn. What a good, nice start. Okay, one of our soldiers is out. Let's go ahead and immediately clean these guys out for the quest. Let's see, 440, so they're definitely going to be stronger. They've got a couple of Amazons. Amazons and Vanguard. So these are the Amazon faction I was talking about and the Vanguard faction I was talking about, and they're together. Makes sense, they're both humans. Let's fight them. We should have we should do plenty fine. So they're gonna, the independents always move first. The defenders always get to go before you do. In case you're curious why they always go before we go. Okay. So they got Overwatch. You can see that she's got Overwatch up. So I think what we're gonna do is we're gonna go here with these guys. We're not gonna press too far. All right, we'll go on Overwatch. This is the cone that they'll hit with Overwatch. I'm fine with that. I'm gonna move my hero wide and look to hit the flank. That's kind of a melee strike for us. Move up a little bit. There we go. We'll go the wide around. They always tend to try and avoid the Overwatch cone. Yep, that's fine. Defense. Check. It's gonna move them here. I'm gonna keep a melee guy close to these guys, and we'll rotate to make sure we're at least watching. And we'll buckle down. Buckle down. All right, let's see what they do. Moving up, likely gonna take some shots. Ooh, that's good, 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 good. Flash arrow. Ooh, they're blinding us. Okay, interesting. Yeah, they're basically just taking away our actions. They're not really doing damage, so while these guys are not gonna be dangerous to our health, they're gonna be problematic for us trying to take any actions. So let's see if we can take them out quickly. Ow, they knocked us back. Cannot reach the target. We could spit. We cannot see at all. Okay. Let's jump on these guys. 40. Let's take the 71% chance to finish them off. Perfect.
Enemy destroyed.
And now we're gonna rush up to them. Rotate. We're just gonna move behind the plant here. Go evasion mode. Start moving up. Start moving up in behind. Get them nice and flanked. And we'll just... I think we're just gonna swarm in. Try and do as much damage as we can. Ripping off pieces of metal with their mandibles as fast as they can. I'd rather be flanked by the ladies who are shooting blinding arrows than by this guy. Ooh, good miss. Oh, okay, they're actually doing damage now. Okay, and there goes our unit. Unfortunate. Ravage. We're still running blind a bit here. 50-50 shot, I'm willing to take it.
Enemy down.
50-50 shot and killing them, I'm willing to take it. If we can get one more. Did not get that second coin flip, but we will be able to finish them.
Enemy
Digging our
down.
claws into them deeply. And we'll move over here. And we'll slap Overwatch. And let them move. Ooh, they're gonna go further away and try and take out our flyers. Probably smart. Oof. We gotta get our flyer out of there. Unless we can kill her. Run in. Getting some frenzy in there. Alright, let's have... You know what? You tried to kill us. We'll let them finish you off.
Enemy destroyed.
Just headbutt her to death.
The enemies of the Hive have been defeated.
Perfect. Ooh, we got a couple level ups all the way around. That's beautiful.
Objective completed.
The threat eradicated. Equilibrium regained. A good trade. Accept reward. So we're going to get some SCI-FI faction relations with these people. Maybe that'll be useful later. Some influence and some research. And now, that's actually good. We actually generated another soldier because he can jump in and fill out our stack. And we're going to swing out and try and clear him out next turn. Frontier facilities.
Our colonies require the means to protect themselves and a reason to stay. At the very least, it's time to invest in some good old-fashioned guns and beer. Dollar Smith, Deneb Colony Mayor.
All right, buddy. So we just got our colony upgrades, recreational dome, standard military issue infrastructure, and the colonizer, which we'll be using. Now we jump into research and see what we want to go for next. Ooh, this went up in research time. Interesting. Let's go with food development. Oh, what else is down here? Military? I'm gonna go early spreading. That's kind of what I'm looking at here. Spread quickly and early. What do we have out in the water? Whoa. We have another one of, I think, those things and marauders. Well, let's see what you've got. Physical presence. Organic. Approaching organics. We smell your intentions unfamiliar. Make request. Allow us to speak to your Medusa. Start negotiating with the dwelling. Ah, that's their capital over there. And then we can purchase things off of them for influence points, which we don't have or need right now. Okay, but now we know that they're over there. They're actually marked on our map. It's not too bad. We'll go back this way. I'm just looking at all these points of interest mostly. So something I haven't really talked about, and we'll go over really quickly here so you understand what you're looking at, is you can actually take a look into your colonies a little deeper. We did see all the upgrades we can grab, and we're going to be picking some soon. But you can also manage colonies and your colonists. So right now we only have 3, but as we get more and more, we can actually manually put them to be doing things, whether it be producing more food, power, production, all that good stuff, knowledge, or you can just let it happen automatically, which is not necessarily a bad choice early on, especially as you're coming to grips with how the game plays. I don't know, do we want to cost 150 production? 4 energy to upkeep. We don't need happiness, but a brood cluster, huh? Gathering all broods together allow for more efficient production turnover. Yeah, that's right, we unlocked that. We should get the brood cluster going. We'll produce that. And then a colonizer at some point would be good. All right, let's end our turn. Unshackling.
Sharpen your claws, sunder the chains in your mind, fight for the Hive. The subjugator's blood is an antidote to the poison of servitude. Behold their corruption and live free.
All right, so we can go regeneration, which is accelerated healing, and healing surge, always useful. And we can start going down this path over here. Plague pods. This is sleeper xenomes. What's this? Infect the target army with sleeper xenomomes. The target army suffers 20% damage and biological cyborg units are afflicted with parasitic infection for a turn. On failure, the target army suffers only 20% damage. And regenerative infections. Infect target friendly army with the regenerative virus, healing them to full. Oh, that's cool. Dominion of purification. All attacks. Let's go with regeneration for now. And let's go ahead and wipe these guys off the map. A little bit more of an open area. Definitely remnants of an old civilization that had some future tech going, at least. Gotta be a little careful with some of our units. One of them, anyway, is kind of on the weak side. We'll keep our ranged units as far back and in cover as we can. Alright, let's start moving up our melee units. We just gotta get them up there as quickly as possible. Put them in cover while we, if we can. Interesting that they go ahead and blind this one. We'll go ×2 for some of this combat. All right, Gray's shot.
Ready.
I think we'll be able to kill him off. Let's charge him.
Enemy killed.
Clean kills all the way. I'm gonna pull them back. It's not worth the risk.
Enemy
Perfect.
eliminated.
And we'll move her up just in case. I don't think she'll be coming any closer though. Well, they grenaded us, but ain't gonna be enough to stop us. Okay, for some reason I can't hit him. He's surrounded by our own buggos, though. Poor guy. I don't think we'll have a clean shot, but we might have a shot. 50-50. It's all right. He's gonna do everything he can.
Annihilated. Our forces are victorious.
He'll be ripped limb from limb. Ooh, we got some level ups, baby. All right, so we've got some mods we can equip, but let's go and pop our skill points first. Selfless Sacrifice. This unit links itself to the target nearby friendly unit. Any damage. Oh, okay, I can share damage and take damage. Let's go ahead and go Range Specialist 2 for 4 points of our 10 that we've gotten. And we could even go Range Specialist 3, which is an additional 20% damage. Fury of the Swarm. Adjacent units with Swarm Shield gain 20% damage to all abilities. The hero learns to move rapidly to confuse enemies. The hero gains Skitter, making them harder to hit if they move during their turn. Ooh, I like that. Infantry Commander, Ground Commander. All heavy units on the ground do more. Why don't we bump our health and just call it a day there. We'll confirm those. Now we can mod, and I kind of want to. This is where obviously we're going to pull a little bit of our energy, but this is where some of our cosmic comes in. It's a lot rarer. We can get a Xenoplague Parasite as a mod. The unit is infected with the strain of the Xenoplague and gains hyper-evolved immune system, granting it +2 resistance to all non-psionic status effects and ferocious determination, making the unit immune to negative morale and mind control effects. Additionally, this mod grants +5. Yeah, why don't we just give him the mod? Let's just drop both mods in for now. Let's go Deadeye as well. Spend it. And now we're nice and leveled up. We can also mod our other boys and girls here. I don't know if I want to go super heavy on modding them until maybe they level up a little bit more. There are our little sniper boys and girls, which is neat. And also, if we want to, we can swing over here and we can actually go ahead and take it for ourselves. So we have options when we come to new sectors. So like I said, we don't really operate on a hex tile system like Civ does. It's just full sectors become ours once we've grown large enough to take it, which we have. At least we can annex it. So if we annex a sector, it builds a base which gives you ownership over the sector it's built in. It projects domain and allows you to gather income from the sector, but we can't do too much else beyond that. We can build a forward base, which just puts something kind of on the center. It doesn't become ours. It builds a base which gives you ownership over the sector it's built in. It does not project your domain. It does not allow you to gather income from the sector, but it provides vision and serves as an obstacle. And then we can found a Kirko colony, but we don't have a colonizer here. But if we do found a colony, our race relations, founding a colony increases your Kirko race relations by 50%. Why don't we just go ahead and annex this sucker? We cleared it of everything. We took it as ours. It's annexed. What's over here? Ah, more jellyfish people. So, one of the other things we can do, we actually gained some influence and we can actually spend it to say, okay, could you guys get the hell out of here? We want it. And if we have enough, they'll do it. But for now, I don't really have anything else I want to do with them. I don't need them to move out of here quite yet. Maybe at some point. What is it? It's an overgrown biome resource node. So I imagine that would give us what exactly? Food. Again, if we ever come that way. Dream sharing is done. Let's end the turn. And so you can see now roads that have come out of this weird bug paradise. I don't know why they use like man-made roads. All the way over here where we actually have a little base of our very own. The Matron Trees. Sector of Jacques Zunko, a structure that claims the sector and expands domain. So it actually is ours now, and I love that it has its own name, the Matron Trees. Eventually we're going to be able to basically exploit this place for very specific resources if we want, but for now we can't do much. We can upgrade it, and we can basically say, hey, what do we want to exploit over there? Food, industry, research. And for now, I'm thinking we might want to choose what we always choose, which is food. So it's got a forest, which has industry and food, and fungal, which is food and research. So we should absolutely focus on food. It's got a lot of it. This is a food exploitation. It provides various economic bonuses based on its level. Levels can be increased via economic research. We're gonna get some stuff out of it, basically. Level 1 will give us a Civ slot, as well as +5 more food to our income, and it'll kind of grow as that goes on. Could also go with research. I think we're gonna stick with that. And we might want to just keep popping things like that, grabbing those, moving people off of them, and just kind of taking what they've got. But we can't get there this turn anyway. We should start heading south and exploring what's out this way. For now, he's gonna stay here. And I think on this is where we leave our dear old Kirko race with the leader Kiri Uzkul. This world was once clearly inhabited, but so were many in the area. We just to claim it as ours. We're working on it, one step at a time.